Hi, welcome to a video tutorial from NYBot. In this video we are going to work with matrices on Texas Instrument TI-84 Plus CE Python edition. If for some reason you press window or something else, if you're stuck, press second function and quit to exit from the screen. Now let's set our calculator to default. First press second function and then mem. This plus sign is mem. Just follow whatever is on the screen. 7 and then 2 and then 2, reset, and then press clear. Now let's clear the memory as well. Press second function, mem, and then 7, 1, and then 2. RAM cleared, press clear to exit. This video is part of a full video of TI-84 Plus CE Python edition. Link to the video is below this video in the description. Now, when we work with matrix, this calculator can do addition and subtraction of matrix, division and multiplication of matrix, and we can find inverse and determinant of the matrix. And then we can do row operations such as row echelon form or reduce row echelon forms. We can define 10 matrices named A to J. Now let's go to the matrix menu. If we press second function, matrix, we see these 3 items: name, math, edit. Now name is selected as shown here, and then we have matrices names, and beside each we have shortcuts 1 to 3 up to from 0 to 9, and here at the bottom it shows an arrow, which if we scroll down we can see the matrix 0. But if you want to go up, just go down and it will rotate at the top. If you just press any numbers, that matrix will be selected. Then if we go to the math menu, these are all the functions, and then we have more, which we are going to test them, which we are going to explain them one by one. And then edit menu, this is where you define a new matrix or edit any matrix that we want. To exit from the screen, press second function and quit. Now to go to the matrix editor, press second function, matrix, and once, twice, and then let's define matrix A of 3 by 3 by pressing 1. This is rows. If I press N3 and go to the right, it shows 3 rows, and then if I press 3 and move with the enter or with the arrow to the right, it creates 3 columns, so row and column, and it also displays the name of the matrix. Now these are the values for matrix A. We are going to enter the first row and then second row and then third row, each item with pressing enter. So 2 and I'm pressing enter, 5 and enter, and then 2 over 5, 2, and then alpha, this is for the fraction, and then 5. You can see that we have the value here. It says matrix A, and then it shows row 1, column 3. This is row 1, and then 1, 2, 3, column 3, the value. The value is not transferred until you press enter or with the arrow go to the next cell. If I press it, the value is there. Now let's enter the second row, minus 1, 2, 9. For minus, I'm pressing this minus, 1, and then 2, and then 9. We move to the third row, 0, 8, 12, 0, 8, and then 12. To exit, press second function, quit. That matrix have been saved. Let's define another matrix for our calculation, matrix B of 3 by 3. Second function, matrix, once, twice, to the right, and then 2, this time matrix B. And then select 3 by 3 and enter these values: 1 minus 9, 6, 1, -9, and then 6. Next row, 4, 3 over 7, 10. 4, 3, alpha fraction 7, and then 10. Last row, 5, 2, 12, 5, 2, and then 12. Press second function, quit to exit from that screen. Now let's define matrix C directly with these simple values. First row, all 3, and then all 4, and then all 5. Second function, matrix, edit, and then C, 3, 3 by 3, enter, 3, 3, 3, and what did I do? 3, and then 3, and then 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Everything has been defined. Press second function, quit, exit. Now, to recall a matrix, either use it or see it, press second function, matrix. On this names, select 2 for matrix B, and enter. Now the matrix have been displayed, the value is here. If you want to do some operation with this, if you want to do some operation, you can recall it like this or like before, but we can also paste it. Go up, this is green, B, and then press enter. That has been pasted here very easily. Whatever operation you have, this is very handy feature of Texas Instrument calculators. And let's say that times 5, and it has been multiplied. If you want to edit matrix B, for example, go and change 4 to 6. Second function, matrix, once, twice, go to edit, bring matrix B, number 2, and then let's change 4 to 6, go with arrow, and change it with 6. When you press enter, it goes, and it has been done. Second function, quit, exit. Now recall to verify. Second function, matrix, and then 2, enter. 4 has changed to 6. Now let's do some matrix operation, A plus B. Bring the matrix A, second function, matrix, and then 1. This is for A, and then for B, plus, because we put plus sign, second function, matrix 2. Matrix A plus matrix B, that's the result. If you want to do multiplication of B times C, second function, matrix 2, times second function, matrix 3. Like this. Now let's do some inverse of a matrix B. Second function, matrix 2, that's matrix B. For inverse, we press this button to the power -1, press enter. That's the inverse of a matrix B. Now the first function is determinant. Let's find the determinant of matrix A. We will have det, which refers to determinant, and then we enter the matrix. Second function, matrix to the right. Now we go to the math menu, and then 1, that is determinant, and bring matrix A, second function, matrix 1. We can close it, or without closing, you can do it. The determinant of a matrix is a number. Here is the result. Clear to clear the screen. And then let's recall matrix 6, which matrix C, which we needed for next operation. Matrix, and then 3, enter. We have it here. Now let's get the transpose of matrix C. So second function, matrix 3, and then for transpose, we bring the T, second function, matrix operation, number 2, T. The T is there, but that means transpose of matrix C. As you can see, the first row of C is 3, 3, 3. Now it has been transferred to column. 4 has been second column. 4 is second row. Here it's second column. 5 is third row. All 5 is third column. Now the third option, dimension. If you want to get the dimension of matrix B, press second function, matrix. Go to the math menu. 3. Dimension, and then bring the matrix B, second function, matrix 2 is B, enter. It shows 3 as a list, 3, 3, that refers to the row and then column. Like this. And then if you want to fill, define, now we want to use fill. First, let's define E as 3 by 3, just the size, no data. Second function, matrix, once, twice, go to the edit menu, and then 5, matrix E. Let's enter 3, go to the right, 3, and go down. Now it's 3 by 3. Second function, exit. It has been defined. Now fill all elements of E with 9. So second function, matrix, go to the math menu, and then fill, number 4. Now let's we will write it like this, 9 and then the matrix. Let's say the value 9, we want to fill it with 9, and then comma, this button, and then second function, matrix, 5. So E, and then close it. So we say fill matrix E with 9. It says done. Now let's recall matrix E to verify it. Second function, matrix, 5, enter. As you can see, it has all value of 9 in row and columns. Number 5 is identity. Let's say you want to create a 4 by 4 identity matrix. Because it's a squared matrix, you just need one dimension. Second function, matrix, go to the math menu, and identity is number 5. And then say the dimension 4 and enter. This is identity matrix. If you need to do some multiplication or some other operation with identity matrix, let me bring it. I went up and enter, close it, and then do something. Let's say whatever operation that you have, you can do that. Let's generate some random matrix of 3 by 4. Second function, matrix, math, and then random m, rand m, number 6. This is 3 by 4, 3, and then comma 4, and then close it and enter. This has generated some random if you need to use it in your operations. Number 7 is augmented matrix. So we append matrix A, let's say, to matrix B. We bring the function augment, bring the main matrix, and then the matrix that is supposed to be appended, so we can create an augmented matrix. Let's do second function, matrix. Go to the math menu, 7, augment, then bring matrix B, and then comma A. Second function, matrix, that's B, comma, second function, matrix, 1, that's A. You don't have to close it if you just want to see it. So this has been augmented matrix. This is matrix B, and this portion is matrix A augmented, appended to the matrix. Now the 8th function is matrix to the list. It fills each list name with each column of the matrix. Let's get column 1 of the matrix A to the list named L2. Like that, column 1 of matrix. So we will have matrix list, matrix to list with the arrow, matrix A, column 1 to list. This is a list name. So let's get second function, matrix to the right, get 8, that's matrix to the left, and then bring A, second function, matrix 1, and then comma. Now we go to this point, 1, and then comma, and then L2, second function. This L1, L2, L3, 4, 5, 6 are in here. So second function 1 is L1, and 2 is L2, 3 is L3. So I'm bringing L2, and then enter. Now it says done. Now recall matrix A to view it. Second function, matrix 1, enter. That's matrix A. Now recall list 2 to view it. Second function, L2, enter. As you can see, the column 1, 2, minus 1, 0 have been stored in list 2, 2, minus 1, 0. The list is always shown horizontally. Now, function number 9 is the opposite, this time list to matrix. So fill matrix column by column with elements from each specified list name. So from list to matrix. Now let's create L1, L2, and L3 with these values. So we go stat, we see 1, edit. This is the list 2 that we already did. So L1, let's do 8, enter, 7, enter, 3, enter. With the arrow, go to the right and go to the top. And then minus 2, 0, minus, I'm pressing this minus 2, enter, 0, and then 11, enter. So this has been created. Go to the third one, 4, 9, 6, 4, 9, and 6. Press second function, quit, to exit. Now let's recall L1, L2, and 3 to view them. Second function, L1, here, second function L2, second function L3. The value has been stored. Like that, you can recall them. Now get value from L1, L2, and L3 and fill matrix F, which have not been defined. So let's go second function, matrix, go to the math. This time it says list to matrix, number 9. And then L1, L2, L3, comma. So second function, L1, and then comma, second function, L2, comma, second function, L3, comma. After that, bring matrix F. After the comma, make sure there is comma, otherwise you will get error. Second function, matrix, and then 6 is matrix F. So just press enter. It says done. Now let's recall matrix F to confirm. Second function, matrix, and then 6, matrix F. Now the number 10 or 0 is cumulative sum. Cumulative sum of the column. So we use sum, cumulative sum. Now let's second function, matrix, go to the right. We can scroll down or just press 0, sum, and then bring matrix C. Second function, matrix, C is 3, enter. Now we had 3, 4, 5, remember? So 3, and then have been added to 4, which is 7, and then added to 5, which is 12. So it adds each column and it goes down. That's a cumulative addition. Now the function A, after 0, we have A, row echelon form of matrix B. We write rref and then the function, second function, matrix, go to the right. Now because it's A, we can press alpha and A or select it here from list. As you can see, they are shown A, B, C, D, even F. So let's select A. That's ref. And second function, matrix 2. Bring the matrix and press enter. That is the row echelon form of matrix B. Now we can get also reduced row echelon form of A, for example. Second function, matrix, go to the math menu, this time alpha B, directly rref, and then bring any matrix you want, in this case matrix A, second function, and then 1. This is a reduced row echelon form of matrix A. Now if you want to swap row of the matrix, for example matrix C, row 1 with row 3, second function matrix, go to the right, and then C, alpha, C is row swap, bring the matrix, second function, matrix 3, that's matrix C, comma, first row and then second row. Row 1, comma, row 3. Now remember it was 3, 4, 5. Now 3 have been swapped with 5 and 5 with 3 and 4 is in its position. Now let's do adding a row. The D, it gets the row, for example, gets whatever value you put, adds it into the row B and displays and stores it in row B on the screen. Actual matrix is not changed. For example, if you put C23, it goes to matrix C, gets the value of row 2 and adds it to 3 and stores it on row 3. So let's go second function matrix, go to the right, and then let's go up, row plus, that is D, press enter. Hello. Now let's bring matrix C, second function matrix, 3, and then comma, and then after that we want 2, 3, 2, 3, close it and press enter. Now it was 3, 4, 5. We said get 2, which is 4, add it to 3, 4 plus the third row, which was 5, 4 plus 5 is 9, and stores it in the row that you mentioned. We can do it also in reverse from here to there. Let's go, select that, enter, and let's make this row 3 and then row 1. So now it says get the last row and store it like that. So now what happened? This was 3, 4, 5. It says get the last row, which is 5, add it to the first row, which was 3. 5 plus 3 was 8, and stores it there. Now E is a row multiplied by a value. So multiply a value. Now it says value is 5 of matrix D, and multiply it by this row and return it in this row. Let's go, second function matrix, go to the right, alpha E, alpha and then E. So multiply row, and then 5, comma. Now it became like this on the screen, and then bring the matrix with a comma, second function matrix 3, we got C and then comma, and then 3 and enter. So value of 5 goes to matrix C of row 3, enter. Now 3, 4, that last row was 5 multiplied by 5, which is 25, and 3 means it's applied in this row. Now F is multiply and add, like before, but with a multiplication, second function. So this 5 of this matrix, multiply this row to this row and show the result in this row. So let's go second function, matrix, math, alpha, F, multiply row plus, and then bring 5 and comma, this is our value, and then bring the matrix like this, second function matrix 3, and then comma, and then 1 and 2, 1, comma, 2. 5 multiplied by 1 stored and this. So now let's see. 3, 4, 5, remember? So get the first one, which is 3, multiplied by 5. 3 times 5 is 15, and add it to this row, which was 4. Add it to the second row. Now it's 19. So 3 times 5, 15, plus 4, 19. That's it. So thank you for watching. Please thumb up the video, and also please don't forget to subscribe.